What up, what up, what up, good people? Welcome to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast with Smitty and SimFBallCritic, along with the AzureEffect whenever he's able to make it. Just going to ramble on here for a minute to make sure it's alive, and it is. So welcome, guys. We're going to do a poll. Never mind. I don't even want to open that can of worms because if we do that, you guys are probably going to say yay. And, you know, sometimes we might want to say nay. Basically, I was just talking about the streaming format. You know, we could add camera back. We may do that again at some point. But to be honest with you guys, again, man, I like the freedom of not having to really pay attention to the camera. I mean, Smitty and myself can see each other on Skype. But I'm just being selfish. I don't want to have to pay attention to the camera all the time. And if I'm doing something in the background, so I think the latest format has worked, so we'll keep it like that. So let me not even open that can of worms. But whatever, guys, welcome, man, to the latest episode. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. You guys know how we get started. We always want to talk about our football team, so we'll do that and share, you know, any miscellaneous things we may want to say before the show starts. But as you can see, man, in the title and in the comments, not comment section, the description, what we'll mainly cover tonight, man, we got a community topic coming from @89BearsFan on Twitter. I believe your name is different here on YouTube, so you can definitely, you know, shout yourself out and say, hey, that's my topic or whatever. But he wants us to compare this time last year. Do we feel like Madden is in a better place? So how do we feel at this very moment, let's say October-ish, last year with Madden 18 versus Madden 19? He also wanted to know, do we think that this is a big comeback year for AAA titles? I think that's a very interesting conversation there. And then also we'll talk about Madden 19, the latest update. I've played it a little bit. You know, Smitty and I probably have played it about the same amount of time, but we'll just give our general thoughts on what we may have noticed, feedback we're hearing from the community, and things that may need to be continued to be worked on. So that's pretty much what we have, guys, on tap. I mean, of course, anything you guys put in the chat, that will be a live topic as well. Whatever y'all throw out there, we'll dive into that. But just wanted to give you, you know, the meat of what we'll be talking about tonight. So, Smitty, man, let's get it out the way. How was your week, man? And, you know, how you currently feeling about those Detroit Lions?
I mean, you know, Lions had a close game. They should have won it. This is another, like, I don't know. It's like these instances where, excuse me, they get close but then don't get it. Or if they convert on a few more plays, they still could have won. Like, I'm not worried about, you know, what happened during that Dallas game. The problem that I had is that we made Dak look better than what he actually is. That's the main thing that I got a problem with. You know what I'm saying? And I got to give, I mean, yeah, the Cowboys won, but honestly, the Lions beat themselves. And at the same time, but I will say this, on a critical drive, on one of the scoring drives for Dallas, on one of the plays that Dak had got within field goal range, I think, off of a pass play conversion, there was a blatant holding call offensively against the Cowboys that they did not call. I mean, my man, I mean, if it was a coat rack and that hook was sitting there, I mean, you saw my man he hooked my man's neck as he was trying to drive around the corner, and it's like they just didn't call it. I'm like, man, that's some cornball stuff, man. Like, them critical plays like that. But I mean, I wouldn't truly say see, that's the whole thing. I wouldn't get too giddy as a Cowboys fan. Yeah, I wouldn't get too giddy about that. We don't have great run defense. So to see what's his name get off, that's not a surprise.
Oh, yeah,
so,
Zeke did get off, man. Right, I just remember. And in the passing game, like the receiving game, I mean.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have a great pass rush. So, like, we need to revamp that whole front seven. So, for him to get, for him to do what he did, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's like, okay, I expected that, and that's what we all expected that. You know what I'm saying? We all expected that. So I just feel that, I mean, look, the Lions are building. They're a team that's in building mode. Not 100% scrap and rebuild, but they're in building mode. That's just very clear as day. And they're going to perform, but how well they're going to perform is another thing. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just see what they do. I mean, they have a key win against the Pats. That's their only win. But now we gotta play Green Bay next week. I mean, it'll be at home, but it's against Aaron Rodgers, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like Aaron Rodgers that's a bad man to have to go up against. So it's live. I see it.
It is?
Yeah.
All right.
It's live. See, now it says. Yeah. See, now it went off, then it came back on. Went off, came back on.
Yeah. We back, guys.
So it's back on. Just in case y'all see it, we're back on, guys. It cut off twice real quick, but we're back on in live. So, but I'll just say real quick though, in a few weeks, okay, not even talking about Black Ops. Black Ops is gonna be something, at least for me. It's gonna be big. But when that Red Dead Redemption drops, dog, it's a wrap.com, bro. It's going to be a complete Rizap, okay? And oh man, I just can't wait for that dang on game to drop. They drop these videos showcasing these details and all that stuff. It's ridiculous, man. These games are ridiculous, and it's a great time to be a gamer, and you're really enjoying all this stuff. Because, like I said, Red Dead is Operation Shutdown. Just shut everything down when that game drops. So that's all I got at this moment in time. No, I'll throw it to you, Sim.
Yeah, guys. Y'all just saw what happens, man, when you have multiple windows up and forget which one you're looking at. I closed out the OBS window. So that's why the stream cut off for a hot second, but I think we're back good now, so it's all good. So, yeah, man, I'll talk really, really quick about football. Listen, guys, let me see. What week we're? Week 5, right? I told you guys I usually know what my team is around week 6, week 7. I think I know what it is already. Man, the Steelers, that defense, man. I think it's time for a change, at least defensively. It's not all. I mean, listen, I know Smitty will agree with this. Most people will. Well, I ain't going to say most people. Some people won't. Not everything is coaching. I don't think that the Steelers' lack of success is all coaching. I also don't think that it's not coaching at all. You know what I mean? There is definitely some coaching woes defensively. You know, I saw in that game against the Ravens, they didn't blitz. They didn't really blitz. That was very strange to see. I'm like, okay. Now, of course, they could have been given, they could have definitely been given, the Ravens some respect or whatever. You don't always want to blitz because you get caught in the blitz and, you know what'll happen. Definitely, guys like Smokey Brown is fast enough. You don't want to leave him on an island, with a corner, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, guys, we saw, I heard what SGO had to say. I definitely did. I'm going to talk about that in this show tonight. I did see that video, but I don't know, man. Me personally, I see a lot of blown coverages and things, Smitty, in chat. I got the all 22 now. I watch it all the time, and I can promise you guys, it is not just coaching. I mean, it's basic stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen NY Kid's video a week or so ago where he broke down cover 4 and all that. He even said verbatim, guys run this stuff in high school. Basic stuff. The Steelers primarily run right now cover 2, and they run a lot of quarters. You know, match coverages. They run a lot of match coverages. They run cover 6. This is simple stuff. So I don't want to keep hearing, Smitty, that people keep telling me it's the coaching. Listen, coaches make decisions. Maybe they're calling the wrong play calls. Maybe they're not blitzing when they should. Maybe they have the wrong personnel. That's a coaching thing. But when you see players that, you know, as just like how we see in Madden, Smitty, when we see a guy vacate his area or doesn't reroute a guy who's running down the seam. I mean, that's player stuff. But anyway, combination of players and coaching, I think there needs to be a shakeup on defense. I don't think Mike Tomlin's job is on the line. Personally, I just don't believe that, even if the Steelers don't win any other games. You got to look at the man's track record. I don't see him getting fired. If you know the Pittsburgh way, they're not going to fire that coach. Yeah, he's had too much success, and if you understand their organization, there's been, 3 coaches pretty much in his existence. They're not going to fire him, but maybe there is time for some changes on defense. This coming weekend, I expect a shootout. I would like to say I expect it, but then again, our offense doesn't seem to be firing on all cylinders for 4 quarters. I don't understand that. So, I don't know. I think the Atlanta Falcons have a good opportunity of coming in there and getting the win. But the Steelers is just one of those teams, man, that surprise you. This will be the game where the defense shows up, right? And then they'll play another game with a less, more inferior, inferior offense than the Falcons, and we'll give up 40. That's just how they are. It's strange, but that's all I got on it, man. They need to get that defense together and need to get it together very, very, very fast. So obviously, guys, you guys want to talk a little bit about Madden. Where should we begin, Smitty, man? Should we go into the 2K stuff first before we go into Madden? Because I don't know how long. Well, you know what? We can save that for the AAA title conversation. We'll talk about 2K and all of that. So let's talk about Madden real quick, Smitty, man. We'll talk about the update, and I want to talk about what 89 Bears fan, what he sent to us. How do we feel about the game at this point compared to last year? Is it in a better place? I could take this in so many different directions, Smitty. Perception-wise, it's not in a better place. Game-wise, it is in a better place. And let me explain that. Here's a perception that we all share. And sometimes perception is actually reality. There's a lot of things reality-wise that are in Madden that we all don't like. Referencing what SGO said in his video, it's very frustrating because it's a lot of fundamental things that's still not in the game. Okay? A lot. To mention a few, like he said in his video, stunts. There's still no defensive stunts. There's still no real blocking schemes, and everything is it's a lot of things that are still tied together. I don't see the free range of AI. And what I mean by free range, just to give you all a quick example, the way the blocking system primarily works in Madden, particularly in open field, it's based on projected target, okay, and where you are projected to run, particularly in the run game. If you're in the open field, okay, let's say you run a halfback toss. Usually, the lead blocker and or pulling guard or what have you, they are targeting the person to block based on where they're expecting you to go. I understand that. It's a video game. There's a lot of moving parts and moving components that make these type of things work, folks, in all of these games. The stuff that we love about 2K and MLB and FIFA, etc., etc. There's a lot of different things that make these games run the way they do. Problem is, I don't like that method that was chosen in Madden. I don't like that method because I would love a game where AI trumps everything. Let me explain what I mean. For any of you guys who ever played any level of football, and let's just say you played in the backfield, which I did. Some of you guys may have played on the O-line or whatever, or you may have been a fullback. First rule of thumb with blocking: hit the first man that crosses your face. I mean, every play has a script. We might break the huddle. We're going to run a 26 belly. One of the plays I remember, right? Everybody know what we're supposed to do. We know who's supposed to kick out the end, and if the end isn't there, go to the next level. If it's the middle linebacker there, peel off to him. And then the next guy is supposed to hit the outside linebacker, etc., right? But let's just say that the team you playing got this beast D tackle, and he busts through all that. Aaron Donald. Let's say you facing an Aaron Donald dude in the inside. He playing right on the outside shoulder of the nose. Or the center. Bam! He blows up the play. The first rule of thumb is hit him. Don't worry about getting to your spot. Hit the guy who crosses your face. That's on any level. You tell Pop Warner kids that, hey, first person that cross your face, block him. Don't protect the ball. Don't let nobody get to that football. That don't happen to Madden. Not all the time. How many times have we seen on a toss, counter, fullback just run right past the guy who's, he just let the guy who actually makes the tackle, he runs right past him. And that's what I'm saying. That's just one example. And I understand, people, and I see a comment in there, Madden is scripted. Listen, guys, to some degree, every video game has a script. They all do. We gotta stop acting like the games we play are not scripted. And it happens in 2K too, guys. It does. The difference is, though, they have a lot of believable animations to make you believe this outcome. That's why Smitty and I use the word replication. Replicate, right? It's simulation, technically Madden is simulation. It's 11 on 11, throwing the football around, handing the football off, making tackles, etc., etc. But replication is where we all have beef. It doesn't do the best job of replicating the trench battle, replicating what happens when the ball is in the air and the DB and wideout are trying to get to it, grabbing, pulling on each other, trying to get themselves in position. The back shoulder throw is coming. Wide receiver slows down and get it. Those type of things. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. It's replication. That's where Madden is lacking. So anyway, just to speed it up, in theory, the game is in a better place because it's what we always say. We know what they are wanting to achieve. But the biggest problem, guys, is the game is filled with so many bugs. I probably agree with everything my man SGO said in that video. It's so many bugs. It's bugs that you've seen from prior years. That's where it hurts, in terms of giving you that belief that, oh, the game is going to be in a better place next year. It's almost like, and I know Smitty agrees with this. When he speaks and I speak, it's almost like we're speaking from the same, it's frustrating because we know that only so much can be done. We all know where the focus is. We all know that. It is Ultimate Team. But I want to explain something really quick, Smitty, that I don't think everybody really pays attention to. I had a conversation recently, man, and I don't want to say too much, but I spoke very candidly with a developer a day or so ago. And he basically reconfirmed everything that Smitty and I already know. I'm going to do the short version. Every area of Madden gets a certain amount of attention, right? Obviously, the moneymaker for Madden is Ultimate Team. Obviously, Ultimate Team is a, what do they call it? Live service. But what a lot of people don't realize, Smitty, and what pisses Smitty and I off, because we do know this, is that each area has a certain amount of developers for that particular area, engineers for that particular area, animators for that particular area. Remember, guys, when they told us in 18 that all of these animators was taken to do long shot? And a lot of us was like, what did that got to do with? But that's it right there. It's gameplay, core gameplay and franchise doesn't nearly have the focus and attention that Ultimate Team does. I actually didn't even pay attention to this until SGO said it. But yeah, he's right. If you look at the credits, you can clearly see the disparity with, you know, the teams. And that's it in a nutshell. Now, I know before y'all go off and say, oh, all they care about is not. Listen, man. You think that all of these games don't care about the same thing? They all do. Our biggest beef, though, with Smitty, and I always say, why is it that Madden seems to be the only one that's playing that role? You understand what I'm saying? Like, look at 2K. That game is so deep in it. Basically, 2K is able to please everybody for the most part. And they are their own conglomerate. Like, it's, you know, so I don't understand why Madden is the one. Like, I can't give them that excuse. That's why I have a beef with the higher ups. My aim is not at the developers, because even with the bugs and stuff, truth be told, they can only spend time on things that they are told to spend time on. In case y'all didn't know that. It's October 4th right now. Madden 20 is under production, folks. It has been. So understand what I'm saying is, some things just ain't going to get done for Madden 19. We know this. Every single year, it's a point in time where we ain't working on that game no more. And it's crazy that we getting so many patches for for 19. But, you know, I think NY Kia said it a little eloquently in one of his videos. Yeah, this is what we all believe too. I think the game was put out a little too early. Why was it available so early in August this year? What you guys don't know is that totally changes their release schedule. Like, that game was probably 5, maybe to 6 weeks done too early. And look at all of these patches that we've gotten so far that have been deep. So, anyway, to try to sum this all up before I pass it to Smitty. In theory, it's in a better place, man, because, you know, if they ever get to some of the stuff that I know they want to get to, wow. It's going to be very interesting to see the conversation, Smitties, that we all have, hypothetically, if they get there. That's going to be funny. Because it could end up being one of them situations where people is like, yo, I didn't think they ever was going to be able to do. We know that. But I think even Smitty and I both, our confidence ain't where it used to be, because we see the game. When is it going to be the time where that cycle where they say, okay, y'all can focus on this time. Go do that. And I don't know. I have no idea. And that's the deflating part. And that's really what Sports Gamers Online, you know, the natural, what he was trying to say. He's a game changer as well. He's been doing this a long time, even before he was a game changer. That was his point. You see what I'm saying? It's like and he knows, and Smitty knows, because, you know, we talk offline, you know, a big group of us, a lot of game changers, and, you know, we talk with community managers, and there's always tension, because a lot of us are, you know, weird to the point where we're like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. And it's like, from a business standpoint, remember what I said last week. You never know. Year 2 from now, it could be a point where we've gone in different directions, only because we're cut from the cloth that we're not going to stop talking. I'm not. I'm never going to stop saying what I have to say and give real feedback. Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying you never know. It might get to a point where the direction is totally different. Remember I told y'all this about 4 months ago when Carlos came. I literally don't know the direction right now because there's no creative director. I don't know the direction. I'm talking to the devs, and I will say this. You know, I've had some slight conversation. I don't want to, you know, say too much, but, you know, I still know what they trying to do even for next year. I know what the devs want. But, again, I have no idea what the overall vision is at this point. Rex is gone. Carlos was there for long enough to drink a cup of coffee. Then he's out. Who I've heard is the creative director and is holding that spot temporarily. Concerned, Smitty. I'm concerned because I've seen this same individual go against some things because people were crying. So, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. And I just hope that the vision is to make that game as much of a demand for the real sport as the rest of these competitors. They are. I mean, Madden is just simply not that. They need competition because there's nothing forcing them to do anything. And again, let me end it with this. This is not a shot at the developers. Not at all. Absolutely not. If it's no A-Dub at EA working on Madden, we ain't getting those coverage rules. We ain't getting none of that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not the developers. My concern is what is the vision and how much of that vision includes actual football and fixing fundamental things and adding fundamental things that's essential to making Madden a real simulation replicating football. So there you go. In theory, it's in a better place, but perception-wise, I don't know if it is because I just don't know. What you think, Smitty?
Yeah, man. Like, you know, see, I didn't hear the SEO video, so I'm gonna have to listen to it and hear what he's talking about. But what I would say is that, you know, I get the disappointment, and I mean, look at it. It's like this. You want drastic change? Take drastic action. Look what happened with you know, from the consumer base. Look what happened with Star Wars Battlefront. See what I'm saying? Look what happened to that game. You know, and look at the changes that were made. Now, it didn't necessarily get gameplay, you know, aspects changed, but you look at Madden. I mean, excuse me. You look and you see that when people speak up and they speak from a wallet standpoint, from the purchase power standpoint, it makes a difference. Now, even though every community has a voice, MUD, you know, CFM, core gameplay, head-to-head people, all that, everybody got their voices and feelings and everything. Oh, excuse me. But at the same time, though, what also happens is that as we see, the driving force behind the game is MUD. You know, as far as profit is concerned. Now, if they took a hit in that profit area, there'd be some adjustment. And we said that stuff before. That's not news. You know, and you know, when you look at, and I mean, like what Sim was saying before about 2K. When you look at 2K, you look at those videos Czar did, does. like I said this to Sim. I mean, I don't know if I said it on the show or if I said it to him offline, but my thing is like, if you look at the stuff, look at the videos A-Dub did on his own, right? And he's on the whiteboard and all that stuff, and him doing his own thing, right? You know, he's showing you cover 4, cover 3, showing you all these concepts and everything else. Now, would he be able to go on the practice field and with full confidence show you that in Madden? I told Sim, no, he wouldn't be able to do it because the way the game functions. He couldn't confidently go out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? Even though, and I mean, you've seen him on Twitter say things like, hey, you know, we got to update to address this. We got to update to fix that, what I implemented and blah, blah, blah. It's not like he could just implement it and say, bam, it's there, it's done. Now, let me show y'all how it works. And he can straight up, and he can do practice court, go into a full game, and just play. And just be like, see, now look what he did. Look what, because of what he did here, this is what happened there. Because of what happened there, this is what happened here. And it all plays out. We don't have that in the game at this point. And even the Sim, once again, talking about the run play situation. The aspect of contextual awareness by your players, your teammates on the field isn't there. It isn't really there. Sometimes, yes, they do. Sometimes, yes, they do make the appropriate plays, but not typically. Like you said, if a play gets blown up in the backfield, it's a wrap. AI doesn't really. There's no real improvise or at least try. You see what I'm saying? That's part of the big problem right there. You know, is seeing players improvise, seeing players actually do, you know, if a play is happening in one set of the field, they just don't stand there and cover grass. They're like, oh snap, the action's happening over there on the left, over there toward at least the middle hash, so I could be involved somewhat with the play. So if the quarterback scrambles out the backfield, bet I could crash down on it. If there's action going on and they throw the pass over there, I'm at least in the vicinity to try and make an impact on the play possibly. You see what I'm saying? And Madden still is not giving us that at this point. You know, and I mean, if you listen to what Sim myself has said from the first time we went to the studio, the devs said they want competition. What do you think from their level that would do? If you listen to anything Rex has said in the past, Rex told you he goes into them boardrooms and stuff fighting for legit football happening. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just saying, like, these are things that suck. And yeah, when you listen, like, I mean, I only listened to, like, I don't know, like about 45 seconds to a little bit of a minute into what SGO said. But you can just hear in the tone of his voice, he sounds real downtrodden about the game. And I mean, I understand the general frustration because, listen, all these people, yes, they're game changers, and yes, they all care about the game. Like you heard me reference last week about Zan and his frustrations. Excuse me, it should not matter. And this is the same thing when it comes to even NBA Live. It should not matter what mode you put in and what kind of feeling it's supposed to have. I don't care if it's street ball. I don't care if it's regulated basketball. I don't care if it's MUT. I don't care if it's whatever. Arcade mode, simulation comp, it doesn't matter. The game of football, the concepts, the movements, all of the general things that make the sport at its core should all be there and be tangibly replicated as such. So that way, when I do play Ultimate Team, oh snap, so and so is playing out of his mind. Who is that? Oh, that's week 12, Ray Lewis and blah blah blah. Oh, no wonder why he playing like that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Oh man, how come so and so was able to make that play? He's a 60 some odd overall. Yeah, but he saw the ball coming directly in his path, and he had the beat on that wide receiver. So yeah, he made the play. Man, but my receiver's rated 99 overall. That's nice. He's rated 99. But look what my man's did. He read the play. He fundamentally read the play and made one against you. Just like we see in the preseason. Dudes that more than likely aren't even going to be on the team. They'll make plays. They'll make plays you may not expect. And see, that's what I'm talking about. We don't have Madden is not in that spot right now. And it's not. It's not. And it sucks that it's the only game. But that's on the NFL. And listen, I'll say this real quick. This is kind of digging back in the way back bag a little bit, but I think back to when people talk about us and what we do, right? And they take up flack with me and Sim and say all the stuff they would say about us, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, remember when the NFL and the players union had some tension? That was a key point for people to get upset at. Just like Sim posted up a few minutes ago about people saying don't buy the game and all that stuff. This plays to that point. Because remember when that whole tension happened, I'm like, bet. All right, that's a key time for people to get upset and react by not purchasing. Oh, I don't know how many people in Drove bought Madden 12, but it was supposed to have that feeling, right? That's the time to jump. Remember, petition put out there, yeah, man, we want 2K and all that stuff. It took 4 years to get 2,000 signatures on it. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I really don't need to keep going down that road. We've been down that road so many times. But the bottom line is that's the key part of it. If you feel a certain way about something, that's just like living on a street block and you only got one street light, but your neighborhood is 4 blocks and you only got one street light for the 4 blocks. One. You look at the next neighborhood over and they got 2 street lights per block. Man, this is wrong. What you need to do is you got to go down as a neighborhood. See, when they say, hey, y'all, let's go march, let's take it to City Hall and let them know how we feel about this. People ain't ready to do that. They're going to be like, shoot, man, I mean, I'm upset, but at the end of the day, I mean, at least we got a light. No, that can't be the mentality. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, as long as that's the mentality, it is what it is. It's always going to be like this. You know what I'm saying? You want change to happen? I mean, look, we fight for change as best as we can. We press, we give feedback, we continue to give the feedback regardless of the frustration because it's all part of the process and it's necessary. We all know they make all this money and everything. EA makes all this money, blah, blah, blah. But we still are going to continue to press and be like, yo, this is what you guys need to do, blah, 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 with the game. And then it's, this still is a business. They got to do what they're able to do realistically. And it's not that they're being complacent. Trust and believe. There is no complacency in the building when it comes to that dev team. They are not being complacent at all. But at the same time, they don't run the company. So there are, and when you're a publicly traded company, you have people that you have to answer to and respond to. I mean, just think about it. You have a game in FIFA that sells 15 million. They sell 15 million copies dang near every year. And at the same time, those guys haven't touched their career mode in years. You know what I'm saying? Or their franchise mode. They haven't developed it in years. And when it's asked about, they said that we just didn't see it fit to invest in it resource-wise based off of everything else, based off of the metrics. how people are playing. See what I'm saying? So this is the thing. And this is the other part of it too. We've talked about this before as well, Sim, and Kia making the point here. What about when you get served up football? I know Madden got problems, every game got problems. 2K, all of them do. But when you get football served up to you and they make you have to honestly play football, why are you mad that you have to do that now? I thought that's what we wanted. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, regardless of what game, of what mode you play, that's the kind of stuff that should always matter. The core gameplay integrity should always be wholesome. And then the innovative efficiency. That's what I'm saying. Like from an old video I did a long, long time ago. Core gameplay, innovative efficiency. Oh, you elaborated on the zone play? Okay, let's see how efficient this is as an implementation. Now Madden at this point right now, in my opinion, feels much, much better, plays better than it did at launch. But like Sim said, I fully agree. This game should have came out at the end of August. On the flip side, NBA Live, that game should still be worked on right now. It shouldn't even be out. Maybe the demo drops in about a week or two, and the game come out at the end of the month before the regular season begins. This game, they shouldn't have came out, man. They shouldn't have came out that soon. And like Sim said, that jacks up the whole development timing. Like it throws them off when you have the date thrusted up that early. Unless they knew that was the date all along and this was intended, but I don't know. I don't think you would want to release a game that's that short. Coming up short like that out the gate. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Madden 19 is not bad. It wasn't bad at launch either, but there were still a good number of, glaring problems that were going on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man, but that's where I'm at on it.
I actually think it's at one of its best points now. As far as after this most recent patch. And it's funny, man, because there's more that's still going to be done, even with coverage. I can't go as far as saying when and all of that, guys. Don't ask me to do that, but there's still more that's going to be done, which further lets me know that, yeah, this game, it came out too early. It was definitely released early. But it is what it is. There's nothing we can do from that standpoint. Here's the thing, too, man. I see a couple comments about shout outs to DJ313 Detroit. He basically said, if Madden is never going to get it together, would we fully support other developers? And I said, well, what developers? And he said, Access Football and Maximum Football. Now, here's the thing. Smitty and I and Azure and mostly everybody in the community, I would think, we are all in support of every developer. No question. Anybody who makes a football game, I mean, we worked very closely with Backbreaker. I've already said how much I would support Access Football, will purchase the game and all of that. But let's be honest. Supporting them in support of is not the issue that we're talking about. Number one, those two games are so far behind Madden. As much as we complain about what's not in Madden, let's not act as if those games are really any competition. And that's not a slight. I mean, listen, I respect Access, the main guy from there. He said it himself, that they are years away from the work that they have to do. And I'm not saying years in a negative way to them. I'm talking facts from a development standpoint. Do you know how much they're going to have to do to be remotely close? So, but it's not a support issue. Again, the issue is with the people who make the decision where they're going to allocate their time, focus, money, etc., on the Madden squad. You know, whoever governs that. You know, whoever it is that makes the hardcore decision. Like I said, and I could be dead wrong, but like I've stated, I feel like it's a management thing of the studio. You know, because you look at NBA Live, the same could be said there. They make some strides, but it's still fundamental things that I think that we could look back at Live 14. The truth of the matter is, man, I just feel like whoever's the governing body at Tiburon, they're not focused, definitely with Madden, they're not so focused with going back and cleaning up things that need to be cleaned up. It's coding. It is coding. Like, you're seeing what can be by looking at the work A-Dub has put in. Right? Go check out NY Kia's video. You know, it's very good video, 50 some odd minutes long. But he even points out the things that are great and the things that they still got to do some work here. And you know what that is? Is what I said a week or so ago. A lot of what happens in Madden now, the new technology and new systems are fighting against old and bad coding. Because every now and then you see those spaz out moments. And you be like, see, that's got to be coding. That's got to be the underlying coding and AI that's overriding what should happen. And I really believe they're going to have to go back and do that. They're going to have to go back and recode a lot of this stuff. But the powers that be ain't spending no time doing that. And that's really the issue. That's really the issue, man. If it ain't, you know, in their eyes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Think about it. I said earlier when the game came out that I wasn't a big fan of presentation, right? And then Smitty enlightened me on it, and I looked at it a little more. I said, yeah, they did some things there. You know, it ain't all bad. But the problem I have is this stuff that's been there since they introduced it that they haven't gone back and fixed. Number one, this is small, but this is just proving my point. You all have played offline, right? And you watch the cutscene when they do the stat overlay of, you know, somebody currently doing good in the game or whatever, or doing bad in the game, or now the offense comes back on the field and it's always defensive players mixed in that huddle. Why is that? That clearly is a bug of some sort, never been fixed. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like Madden is at the point where I feel like they're not going to go back and address stuff. And again, the devs have a job to do. When the devs are told this is what we're doing, this is what we're working on, they don't have the time along with their engineers to go back and just do their own thing. Let me tell you something that was really telling, but I don't think y'all really was paying attention. Y'all notice Rex used to always say, yeah, we snuck that in? Y'all remember that? He used to always use those actual words. Yeah, we snuck that in. He was literally saying they snuck it in. Because they have to find what they can do and what they can kind of, you know, fit in there with the allotted time that they have to do something else. It's like improvise, you know, like they do it on the fly. Like, all right, we're going to allocate this amount of time to do this, but I think we can sneak this in along with it. We can get this, we can work this too, and we can add this and add that. So, again, bottom line, I think EA as a whole, for football, they need competition. Without competition, I don't see the people who cut the checks having any push or any reason to investigate as to why. Why do you need this? Why do you need that? Key thing Rex used to always say. A lot of times I'm dealing with people that don't know football. They don't care about that. All they care about is this. I bet you if there was another company making the game, and all of a sudden they blowing up, I bet you they'll be asking all kinds of questions. Hey, what's happening here? Then the devs gonna be like, well, it's because they got this. It's something we told you that we wanted 4 years ago. That's why they're winning. And then guess what the money guy's gonna do? Well, whatever. Okay, let's get it done. That's how business works. It's just a shame, man, that it's Madden that is going through that, because we're all football fans. That's the real shame of it. As far as the business sense, Smitty, like, I understand the move. I understand it. Why work harder than you have to? I mean, I'm going to speak from a man's perspective really quick. That's what we all have to remember. And that's why I beg you guys to stop being so serious about this game. This is a business that nothing we can do about. It's a business. And from a business standpoint, yes. If you're still making millions with minimal effort, who wouldn't do that? Let's just think about that for a hot second. Let's take away our personal opinions of the game. Let's talk about business. If you could do enough to get by and still make the same money and or more, where's the fire underneath you to make you want to push it, more and more and more? Everybody ain't built like that. You see what I'm saying? Every person don't operate like that. Some people have to be pushed, or they have to feel threatened that their pocket gonna get hit. They know their pockets ain't getting hit. Even if our crowd, everybody here tonight decided that, you guys decided y'all ain't gonna support it, that ain't gonna hurt their pocket. It needs to be like a mass hit. And again, another reason why we've always said, let's stop beefing with the attorney folks. We all need to come together in a community and complain about the real problems and make, maybe then we could affect something if imagine if, I'll just use people that I know. Like, imagine if Dubby or Skim or any of these guys publicly said, man, this game, da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, somebody gonna pay attention to that, because that's on TV. See what I'm saying? But...
And you see problem be posting.
Yeah.
He be posting when they could put a title man, there's some BS, man. They just da-da-da-da-da. Like, he goes straight. So that's very true. That's what I'm saying. Look, if you have people that say, see, this is the thing. Madden, it's not like Madden sells 15 million copies a year or anything like that. They don't even sell 10.
Right.
So just think if Mutt took a hit, in terms of financially took a hit. Oh, whoa, wait, whoa, what happened? Let alone the hit as far as sales. And you got tourney guys all up and down the wall, just like, man, this ain't football stuff. Where's the football that happening in the game, man? Bump the cards. What's going on with the football? If you got that happening across the board, it'll change.
It'll change. Absolutely.
It'll change, and they'll be like, oh, y'all want to do what? All right, yeah, no, we're going to let you do that now. They're going to let... That's how... Look, Rex gave us insight on what happens with every game company out here. Don't get it twisted, because some companies allow a little bit more slack on the leash, but they all get that tug at some point. You see what I'm saying? They gonna pull. Look at 2K. Oh, what part people want to do what? Oh, they don't want to manually contest. They want to auto contest in there. All right, sim to basketball. We're gonna pull that leash. We're gonna yank that sucker back. Now let's scale it down and let's make it easier, because we don't want them to get upset, because that money coming in. See, that's kind of what I'm talking about. 2K will get that opportunity, but just think about that. Just think if 2K came out with a football game. I mean, don't get me, I'm not saying it like, oh, it'll get patched to oblivion and the game will be trash. We might as well have one game. No. I want there to be a secondary game. But what I'm saying, though, is that it'll still like you'll see that corporate effect. The corporate effect happened with 2K as well. It just isn't as huge of a hit that they took on their game at this point. So when you have a game, think about it when you got a game in Madden that's trying to break through a ceiling. It's trying to break through a ceiling, and then you got resistance from not only exec but then community people that are pushing against that too. Oh man, football happening? No, because I can't unrealistically execute the way I used to be able to. EA, you gotta fix it. Okay, we'll fix it for you. Okay, we'll bring it down. When they do all of that stuff, that's when our game gets hit. And then now it's this tug of war of, all right, let's put fundamentals in. All right, let's add fundamentals, but let's water it down enough so that way this crowd is pleased. Well, now we got to please that crowd over there. And oh, by the way, we got to do that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the problems. But what needs to happen is that there has to be a core game that's just made. And I understand why people say make 2 games. I get it. I don't firmly agree with that, but I get it. I get it. You know, and because that will help to a degree with the whole tug of war going back and forth. You know, make MUT, like somebody has said online, make MUT free to play, and then you know they could just do the microtransactioning stuff or whatever in the game, but get it free. And then you know CFM or whatever, put that out, and you know you could charge for that, not as high as 60, but you could charge for it, and you know it'll be. You know, have that balance. Build that all the way out. Focus in on making that sim game. That's what we want at the end of the day, y'all. You know what I mean? And it's just, these are the corporate battles that are fought. That's why, like Sim said, we take it, we battle with it, but at the same time, we just post the feedback, make our vids, let the devs know what the problem is, and we just keep on trucking in that direction, because that's the best thing we can do. Because we know there's a fight going on that's well above that's well above our grade. You know, so that's just it,
bro. Man, I'm just looking at the Colts and Patriots. Oh my God, man, the Colts defense. But anyway, here's the funny thing. I'm gonna comment on 2 things that I see in the chat section here, and then we'll move on to the AAA titles. So the truth is, guys, first let's talk about long shot. In case y'all don't believe what Smitty and I say, or if you don't really listen closely to the things that Rex used to say, I'll go ahead and confirm it for you right now. Rex was not in favor of long shot. In fact, Rex had several meetings. And I'm not going to give you guys all the details because it's still his business, so I'm not going to go too far. But he really had his opinions about long shot. And in a nutshell, he felt like that what they were attempting to achieve with long shot wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. He believed that was the wrong approach. He believed that you build the core. You keep your core happy. The rest will follow. You build it, they will come. Field of dreams. That's how Rex felt. Look at 2K. They have done so much with franchise. And think about it. They are still highly recognized for Pro-Am. They have a whole tournament built off of Pro-Am, but yet their core fans, like basketball heads, play my league or my GM. And you know, basketball heads play Pro-Am too, but understand what I'm saying. It's like I said in the video I dropped a few days ago or whatever. It was a statement that I said in there. And it's funny, guys. I know sometimes y'all probably laugh when I do that. Just for the record, I don't pre-record any video. I don't pre-script it. Everything is just I hit play and start talking. So a lot of times I say stuff and go back and be like, oh, that was something that I said. Actually, I like my own point. It's kind of like I freestyle the video. So when I said that, then see, I just forgot the whole point right there. Hold on. I got to get it back. What did I say? I don't remember. I don't. It'll come back to me. But basically, I think where I was going was the core. You have to please the core first. You know, your gameplay has to be pristine. Your career mode. Oh, I know what I said. The comment that I said was a simulation gamer usually is a person who lives in franchise mode. The reason why I say that is because a simulation gamer is a guy that usually wants the experience of the sport being replicated as close as possible as the real thing. They run plays, you know, when they're on the court. Stuff like that. They build their team. Some people, real basketball heads, play My GM, where they're making all of the, you know, they're doing everything. In football, definitely in football, most simulation guys playing franchise. Now, we'll get out there and, you know, I know a whole bunch of simulation guys who like to go online, straight up head to head and just bust people up using football concepts. That's where it gets tricky, though. Because you can't always rely on football happening. There's always some cheeseball stuff. See what I'm saying? So, simulation guys are usually your hardcores. They play franchise modes. They team builders. And that's the thing that you have in common with MUT players or card collecting type of players. We all just trying to build a great team. But, you know, Rex wasn't for that. He wasn't for a long shot. He fought hard against that, and he just had to eat it. And you could even see it on his face in the interview that we did that year when we talked about it. And that just goes to show you the point that we're making. Clearly, somebody missed it. Somebody, you know, in marketing or PR or whatever, they clearly missed it because, to my understanding, it didn't work. So this is what I'm hearing. It didn't work. It did not do what they expected. So clearly somebody dropped the ball there as far as at the higher level. Like, why did you think? Listen, if your game was Trump type, I mean, it had everything, then you drop long shot on us. Because then you would have had all of us in here like, yo, man, that long shot joint's kind of hot. It's like watching a movie. But that's not our main thing. We living over here in deep franchise. I mean, head coach type franchise. The gameplay is tight. AI. I mean, everything that we ever could imagine. Which nothing's perfect, but y'all know what I'm saying. If the game was on that level, how we talk about FIFA and 2K and MLB, and then they threw in long shot, I don't think nobody's complaining. We'll just be like, that ain't really for me. Or you'd be like, yo, the movie was kind of cool. It wouldn't have been no beef is what I'm saying. And they should have known that. They should have known that this isn't the time to dare to be different. You need to follow the blueprint because it's working for these other games. So, again, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to even believe somebody who was a creative director there. But that's clearly what's going on. It ain't a football problem. Anybody who can post clips like A-Dub does, that is a football genius. That guy knows football. So why would y'all ever think that he don't want the game to be great? That's where I draw the line when people try to. Even if you didn't know him, listen, we know him personally, but even if you don't know him, and you see the stuff he posts on Twitter. And he is very lightly, I might add, because he don't even diagram it the way he would if he was talking to Smitty and I. Why would you think this guy wouldn't want football? You understand what I'm saying? So it's clear. I mean, it's clear to see. Sometimes it confuses me to see community members, some of you guys that are still acting like y'all have no clue. I'm like, come on, man. We passed that. Like, it's almost to a point, Smitty, where I don't even want to talk about this stuff no more. Like, it'll come up, but it's kind of like, I feel like a broken record. We've been saying this for a number of years now, where we need to be aiming our attention. I don't know how do we do it. I mean, if the creative director couldn't influence where he really wanted to go, honestly, I don't know what we can do. All we can do is just keep being as loud as possible, and maybe we'll catch the ear of somebody, that puts the suit on. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But all we can tell you is what's actually happening. And it scares me because I don't know the direction. I don't know where we're going. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, and let's speaking of that. You guys have asked us in the past, well, how long, you guys gonna... What did I tell y'all a year or so ago? When I see that the things that we've been asking for, these things are not being addressed at all, then I might have to say, okay, is it even worth me being here? And I'm keeping it all the way real there. I hope it don't get to that, because up until now, there's stuff that we asked for is being added to the game, no question. But now, I need to see the game. I need the coding and stuff, fundamentals, man. Like, we need AI, that kind of stuff. If they don't eventually take time out to fix those type of things, none of the stuff we asking for is even going to matter. Look at the schemes and all of that. Look at how crazy franchise is. There's so many bugs in there that it's ways that you can even manipulate the XP, guys. We knew this before, and I'm not going to say it for anybody that doesn't know. Some of y'all might not even know. But the schemes and all of that, we mentioned this well before the game came out. I said, whoa, this is going to be a problem. Still there, to my knowledge. Even offered a solution. But, hey, man, listen. We just two guys that just keep it real all the time, man. I just need y'all to start listening. That's all.
Hey. Hey, yo. Don't dip. Don't dip, Sim.
No, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. If they throw a whole different direction on us, like if all of the stuff that the massive list, if things start to be walked back, I'm gonna be like, wait a minute now. What are we really here for? That's all I'm saying. I just hope that they keep pressing forward.
Yeah.
I'm tired of saying this is where I'm at with it. I'm tired of saying, man, hopefully next year. I don't want to say that no more. I want to get back to the days when we used to be like, man, I can't wait to see what they do next year. You remember that feeling, Smitty? When we used to play like Madden 05, we used to be like, yo, man, I can't wait for the next one. That's all I want. I want that feeling again, and I don't have it because it's some of the same problems. Even though they've added stuff that we appreciate, some of the same problems that we've been asking to change for the last 4 years still exist. And right there, I see somebody that says, people keep saying we're going to have to wait till next gen. Why? Why do we got to wait for next gen for just Madden? All of these other games are doing it. You know what I'm saying, Smith? Why are we giving Madden a pass, man?
Oh, snap. Well, you know what, though?
No, because remember what they... Look, I'm going to say this real quick and then throw it back to you.
Go ahead.
Remember what Smitty told y'all? The conversation he had and they were saying it's limited. My question is, why, though? Like, how did y'all build the game? Why are y'all limited? And these other games are blowing y'all out blowing the brakes off of you. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I get it, and it is what it is, but why does that only apply to your game? I can't give him a pass on that.
It's not. And see, look. It's not about the passing. Well, let's leave that P word out of it. It's got nothing to do with passes.
Okay.
But what I feel about, but the way I feel about it, see, from having discussions at EA Play And not and I mean just thinking about just stuff that you said and stuff that you've been said that we've said. It's issues with coding and all that stuff. There's structural integral issues going on, right? Well, think about it. Would you think there was a structural issue when they went from PS1 to PS2? Maybe when they first moved there, but the thing is, every Madden was up, up, up. Even when next gen, at that time, Gen 3 came out, no one was bugging too much about Madden 06, Madden 07,
I was.
Madden 08. No. I'm talking about PS2.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about PS2. No, I ain't talking about 360 and all
I'm
that.
gonna say what?
I'm talking about Gen. No, I'm saying when.
Yeah,
no,
I know
I
what
said
you mean.
outside of Gen 3. I'm saying when Madden was still coming out on PS2 and Xbox.
Yeah.
And you had Madden 06, 07, 08, 09. Those games were still legitimately innovated on, even with the next gen up counterpart. And I mean, outside of the console limits, those games were better. You know what I'm saying? The Gen 2 games were better.
Yeah, they were.
To be quite honest, they were cleaner. They were more, they were better functioning. They were more complete. And you look at that engine and remember. And remember what happened with. Remember what happened when you when it went on to that next generation. We saw what happened with, from 06 onward. The game was never the same. The structural integrity of the game was fully compromised.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference when you look at that. I don't remember FIFA or NHL scrapping their core going to the next generation. I know 2K didn't do it. So since 2K didn't do it either, I can see why that game has so far surpassed and now is one of the best games out. Franchise experience, arguably. Core gameplay, arguably. MLB The Show, same thing. They did the same thing. They have been running the same way since PS2 days. Same engine, same, all of that. Went to Gen 3. Stepped up, same thing. Game was tight. Same. And now look at what MLB The Show 18 is. Epic title. Great franchise mode. You got my man, and I brought up the last show. My man Lex, huge franchise guy, played the entire dang on season. NYK at times he would play a lot of the season at times, but that's the point. All of that's going on, it gives you that reason to want to play. Because the way that game has built and moved up. These games require the more technology advances, the more work is necessary to make these games tight. But the problem is the timetable does not expand because of that. It's still the same timetable. Oh, you got all these, we got to do this, we got to add all these features and facets and blah, blah. And it's all got to be tight. It's got to come out by this date. It's one thing when we're talking about a production back in 2000, 2002, 2003 versus a production coming out in 2018. Mm-hmm. It's a huge difference. A lot more work that needs to be done. And I see people chiming in on the chat here with how many games, look, over 100 plus games into their season. Come on, man. Your game has to have longevity in order for that to be possible.
And they all feel different. Every one of them I played feels different.
That's what I'm saying. So when the core integrity of your game, is not compromised, that is why I feel excuse me, the biggest mistake that EA made was scrapping that engine in 2005.
EA Tiburon.
Yeah, when they made that move,
It's Tiburon, man.
That was the biggest mistake ever made, to go ahead and say, we're going to scrap this core and we're going to do this brand new core. That was a huge, ginormous mistake, because the consistency of the development vision, all of that was there before, gone. 2K kept theirs, FIFA kept theirs, NHL kept theirs, MLB, Sony over there with MLB kept theirs. That's why their game is where it is. And I mean, listen, having conversations with folk at EA Play, yeah, I'm optimistic about the future of Madden. And don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
I've seen some people, okay, online that are extreme huge Madden detractors and all that jazz, and they love Madden 19. That says a freaking lot. Okay, so don't get me wrong for one moment, but it, like what Sim said, we could look at it in a year or two and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, yo.
Yeah.
You know
what a turnaround.
Yeah, like, look what these cats done did. They can do it. I believe they're fully capable. If there are systematic limitations, listen, it doesn't matter what company you have, how much money you got. You can't just throw money at a situation and expect it all to be fixed. It doesn't work like that. That's just not being realistic, okay? It took, like I said, with Backbreaker, Natural Motion. They didn't have all the money in the free world, but at the same time, the technology that they had, it took them years. It took them a year and a half to make one player model for that Backbreaker game so that it would all sensibly function. It took them 3 years to build that game, which was basically a tech demo. You see what I'm saying? Madden, with all the money that they got and everything like that, trust and believe, it's not going to work that fast. Okay? It's going to take them time to build that game out. And see, even my man Raw, Jump to Raw, Call of Duty, same engine since early 2000. That's what I'm talking about. You augment some stuff, but then you keep it moving and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's all that we're talking about. But even with all that knowledge and understanding, it is very frustrating when the stuff comes out and it's like, really, EA? This how you gonna come out? Come on, man. It should be better than this. Just like NBA Live 19. The game that I played at EA Play was much better than the game we got out right now. And yeah, they're doing updates and things are feeling a little bit better here and there, but it's still not the game that we had at EA Play. That was there.
And that happened to Madden last year.
Yeah, and that happened to Madden. That's what I'm saying.
It's Tiburon, man.
Well, come on, man. I'm not feeling this moves, man.
I feel like it's something and again, I don't know. And I know the devs that I'm close with know I'm not talking about them. It's something at Tiburon. I really feel that. I don't know if it's the managerial decisions, like who runs the studio and we're gonna do this. I really feel that way. Because these other games don't listen, man. I remember playing FIFA at EA Play when they first went to Frostbite. It was nothing different when it launched. NHL and FIFA don't have these problems. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure their crowd have things they complain about as well. But they don't have the issues that we talk about in Madden, where we feel like there's no real change, no fundamental changes, or I don't know, man. Tiburon scares me, man. It really does. But here's another thing I wanted to say, Smitty, real quick.
Yeah.
I wanted to comment on it earlier. I saw somebody say that Madden 15 was the best one so far on this console. And I saw somebody say that NCAA was the best game ever, and then they said Dynasty. That's key, because the reason why I want to point out those two comments, We also have to think about this. Everybody's opinion is different. Because I've seen people literally say Madden is trash, and I ask them, oh, okay, what about it? What do you don't like? Man, I don't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I just don't like that the franchise is not deep. Cool, I'm with you. But he thinks it's trash because of that. He didn't have any problem with the gameplay. So then, like I said, another guy, in here I just said somebody mentioned NCAA was the greatest, and they said because of Dynasty and all of that. No argument here. But I'm just my personal opinion. I mean, outside of some small components, I don't think the gameplay is any better in NCAA 14 than Madden 19. Just on the field. So that's what I'm saying. We have to remember too, everybody's opinions are different. So I look at it in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know. It's interesting, man, because last thing I'll say real quick, somebody else made the comment. I wish I could find it, man, but he knows who he is. He's listening. I agree with him 100%. You continue to hear Smitty and I say that I don't think Madden 19 is trash. I actually think the game is much closer to being a solid game than most people would give it credit for. All they gotta do, man, Madden just lacks a few things. I mean, the things that we're talking about in terms of on the field, they probably could, honestly, two years max, they probably could do it. In my opinion, I don't think it's that far away. We're talking about refining the AI, okay, making your physics more prevalent. And also, well, now that they've added RPM, they got to clean that up. RPM need to be like FIFA, no less. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. But if you get physics and all of that to be accounted for at all times, in all interactions, and if you get the AI correct, and and you add some depth in franchise, like, guys, what the game is not that far away. Again, Kia showed it in his video. Fundamentals are in the game, but there's things that are missing too. Like the trenches. It's not organic enough for me. We got to find a way to make those interactions a little more organic, or at least do like 2K does. Have enough animations that can replicate the situation properly. Remember what they said RPM was. They told us that, and SGO said this in his video as well, but they said that RPM would not only allow players to move, realistically. And even Clint said that there was a lot that they didn't get to it, that it allows so many other things like player likeness, etc., etc. But it also said it would allow players to produce the correct animation for the situation. That does not happen nearly enough, in my opinion, particularly in the trenches. But just imagine if they fix all of that. Right animation is triggering where it's believable. Because again, guys, it's all perspective. Let's be honest now. It's all personal opinion. Because again, I'll continue to say this. Most people have a video game mentality. What do I mean by that? What I mean is when it doesn't work, when something doesn't work or it doesn't go in your favor, oh, this sucks. Not many people are willing to accept you happen to call the wrong coverage. You get a linebacker matched up on, as I'm watching here, James White, and Brady actually missed him earlier here in the night. Had him wide open. Brady threw it a little too far. That happens to somebody in the game, they're going to be pissed off. Even if everything played out correctly. Not a lot of people playing a video game want to hear that stuff. They don't want to hear, oh, it's the ratings. Oh, he's better. And y'all know I'm speaking the truth. Simulation go out the window when it happened against you for most people. Not all, but y'all know what I'm saying. So that's my thing. Even when it gets to that point, how many people are going to just allow it to be what it is? Prime example. if Madden played exactly like how my Steelers are playing right now, I'd eat that and be like, yeah, well, the secondary is trash. And I would accept, okay, I got to go in it now. Now I got to, I'm going to be Kevin Colbert. And when we get to the draft or whatever, I'm going to go in here and rebuild this team. And the next season or two, boom. The next season or two, I'm going to have something. That's what it should be like. Now, here's the other things. And Luke W., it looks like you changed your name here or you created another account. Here's another thing I want to comment on. So you guys are naming stuff that let me throw something at you really quick. What good is real weather if RPM ain't even right? Let me explain to you what I'm saying. And what you're saying is not wrong, my brother. Not at all. These are all opinions, and this is making my very point. You also say we need to have Thursday night football commentary. But does that make Madden great just because of the commentary? Or let's add the weather in there, but the game still, AI is still not fully respected. Or physics is still not fully respected. The guys are still not fully grounded to the field. RPM is not as crisp as it can be. Let's use PES and FIFA as a measuring stick. It's not quite on that level yet. What good is having real weather? It's just a cosmetic effect. And I'm only saying that, guys, because this is how I view things when I'm in that building. I'm looking at, I want the gameplay first and foremost over anything else. After that, I want my franchise to be Trump tight. After that, I want the bells and whistles. Because y'all know what I always say. A simulation game to me not only plays like the sport, but it looks and feels like the sport. So of course I want weather. I want all of that. All of that. But again, perspective-wise, does that make it a better game for you right now? Let's say if Madden 19 had real weather. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm only using your example, man, because even as just a listener, right? Even as a listener, I see all of these different things that people want, and it's just their personal thing. Again, I'm not picking on you. I'm just giving you an example. Live weather don't mean anything if the game ain't tight. If we threw live weather in Madden 19, that don't make it a great game. Or if we threw Thursday night commentary, and that still doesn't make it. You see what I'm saying? So my only point, Luke, is that we also have to look at it like that. All of our opinions are different. Believe me and Smitty see some stuff, man, from other game changers, and I ain't calling no names and nothing, but I'm like, really? You want that now? Oh, and on top of that, they'll beef with me and Smitty about, franchise stuff that we feel like is vital. They'll be like, nah, well, you don't really need. I'm like, what? That's essential to franchise. So trust me, I get it, and I don't believe my opinion is right. Smitty doesn't believe that as well. It's just our opinion. It's not like what we're saying is the gospel, but a football game or any game, period, man, has to be built and centered around gameplay. Pro-Am, it couldn't be, and I assume it's going to be a lot better this year. They made a lot of changes to the defense and stuff like that. Now I want to see your tournament, because now these dudes might have to go out there and ball. See, it's gameplay. As much as we beef about Mutt, I would love to watch the Madden tournaments too, and I hate to even say Madden tournament after the tragedy, but y'all know what I'm saying. I would love to watch it too if it looked like football. That'd be great to watch. So even if this is the part where I get confused with the powers that be. Even if Mutt is the focus, because obviously it's the moneymaker, any blind man can see that. But even so, imagine if Mutt, and Smitty and I have said this for years, Imagine if Mutt really was Mutt. And this is what I mean. Imagine if these players really played and looked like their real life counterparts. Take what all pro football did and all of them abilities and translate it on the field in Mutt. Madden don't do that. They don't do that. All they do is give you the player can do it, but it don't look like Dion. That surely don't look like Barry Sanders. I want to see, you see what I'm saying? And again, in the grand scheme of things, that's not important either when the gameplay still ain't right. But man, that would be a start if you had, I mean, I know NYK would love this one, the way Richard Sherman would play cover 3 or cover 1, how Seattle would run it. How even if they in zone, he in your face pressing you every time. And that's just his characteristic. Or the way Dion uses leverage. You don't see that in the game. So if you had all of that, I might be a mud player. I might be a, you know what I mean? Because, man, I'm going to build my team, and I don't get it, man. The powers that be, I just don't understand it, man. Well,
you got to have, like, it's this point right here. Like, I mean, I know I came in on the tail end of it, I had to step away, but it's like saying that you could have a team that's a 60 overall in 2K basketball, and but you can still go out there and outclass somebody that'll have higher rated players. And what I mean by that is this. I know that people look for cheese and all that, but I'm just saying, if we just go off principle. You have the core gameplay functionality along with the play call dynamics, and its functionality is pretty solid. Mm-hmm. So therefore, if I execute basketball-wise and I do things to you based upon who you're using against me, I'll still get you. Man, your team sucked, though. How come you was able to? Well, let me tell you why. I did da-da-da, and I could really talk to it. And that's the whole point. If you could actually talk to what's going on, talk to it, and it's actually happening in the game, there it is. You know what I'm saying? That's legit right there. So the problem that we have, like I mean, that's a silly comment, but what I'm saying though is that when we're talking about what's going on, in Madden, and I mean, yes, you talk about, somebody brought up the dynamic weather aspect and all that. You can't talk about that without the core gameplay functioning properly. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You got to make it impactful. You have players that slip, slide, and fall all by themselves on dry grass and turf indoors. So if you had that level of replication in football happening, as we talk about how it go in soccer, if you had it going on in football like that, would you be cool with that? Would you be okay if you were running and your player just all of a sudden lost his footing and just tripped up over himself and fell down short of the TD within a few yards and you never make it in the end zone? Come on, man. Like, this is what I'm talking about, bro. This is the kind of stuff that we want in the games. We want that authenticity in there. But it all starts with getting the core aspects down first. And unfortunately, it's stuff that they got to build. And I, to a degree, I feel that some things can't happen because of, once again, going back to code and all that stuff. I feel that there's some stuff that's limiting them from really building the game out the way that it should be. So,
man, Luke, I don't know. We can't answer this question. The question you asking. I mean, to be honest, that's what this whole conversation has been about. We can't answer that. And the funny thing is, man, I mean, it's no disrespect to you, but it's some of the comments. I'll just let you have your opinion and I have mine. I mean, the whole it's not real basketball. Like, because first of all, you campaign 2K so hard, but then you say it's not real basketball because they don't have text and injections. I mean,
they had text in the game though before.
They did
with the language thing. If they caught your language on the mic, you get a text. So they did have it in there.
But these are still games too. At the end of the day, guys, we're still dealing with games. Like, we trying to blur the lines a little too much in some things. But I don't know, man. I think we could go past this one, or we can work it back in. We got 21 minutes left. What do you think, man, about the AAA titles? Because would you consider this a big comeback year for, you know, the majority of AAA titles that are dropping in 2018?
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's a comeback, you know, because they went to Frostbite, so it was a necessary move. They had to do what they did. So for Madden 18, oh, I'm sorry, you're saying AAA titles, period? Yeah. Or we're talking about Madden?
I think period, because that's the way he phrased the question.
Okay. Well, is this the big comeback year? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's crazy. So many good games. I don't even know what to play.
Yeah.
Like, that's the crazy part. Like, it's my first time playing Spider-Man on stream. Now it's the first time I played it in about a week. And that's because of other games I had to play. Good ones that I have to play. And, I mean, you know, Assassin's Creed just came out. And next week, tomorrow for some people, WWE is good. They're gonna be playing that. And intending to come out on Tuesday for people that got the standard. That'll be out. I canceled. I was going to get it. I canceled it because I'm like, man, I know once Black Ops 4, that's another one. And then once Red Dead come out, you can forget about it.
That's over with.
You know what I'm saying?
I
can understand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Man, I understand exactly why Battlefield waited until basically till the end of November to come out. That was a smart move because they were going to come out on the 12th, I think. They were going to come out same time as Black Ops. And I mean, you don't want the momentum and steam of your game to die off. That you know what I mean? Even if it's temporary, but still, you don't want to see that drop off because you got Red Dead coming out, and that's going to be a ginormous title. But yes, AAA title, and then next year even you got the Division coming out. You got, I mean, we don't know how it's going to be, but you got Anthem that's going to be coming out. So I mean, you got some games that are I mean, they're just hitting. They're dropping that anvil. I mean, they coming through strong with these titles. So like I said, it's if you just love gaming in general, yes, you're very, very happy with what they're doing.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
but
I agree. I mean, I guess when he said, is it a comeback? I guess is he saying, have we seen a year like this in the recent years where so many, and I don't know, this might be one of the better ones, man. I mean, even with 2K, you know, 2K, I think, made some significant changes in the way the game feels and plays, and I'm still interested in it. And by the way, guys, let me let y'all know this, because I get questioned about it all the time. A lot of times y'all don't see stuff on YouTube anymore. And I've explained to you why in streams, but I'll say it again here tonight. Honestly, man, again, I'm trying to take YouTube to a different level. You know, am I going to have 1 million subs one day? I'm not aiming for that. I mean, whatever. But I do want to grow. I want it to be, you know, more significant because I've seen things that I can do with it, etc., etc. Because of that, you have to treat it like a business, folks. And there's many things that I've tried to showcase that it gets zero support. So whenever that happens, and it's just like something that I'm learning now in an actual marketing course, when you don't stick with trash for too long, when you notice something is not benefiting you, you got to let that go in terms of it pushing it. So as much as I've said, yeah, you guys are going to see all of this type of content, I'm actually going to stop saying that, because really the viewers dictate what you're going to see on YouTube. But I play everything. I'm still playing my Pirates franchise. I'm playing my league. But again, for whatever reason, people don't like it. They don't watch it. But when I get back into the streaming, my schedule's just been hectic, man. I think I'm going to have to forego Tuesdays. We'll see. Because I already do the Steelers stuff on Tuesday, and I do it after the game. So I might move my gaming streaming schedule to like maybe Monday nights. I hate to do it because I like watching football, but we'll figure it out. It might just be one night, because I can't stream every night. Because like I said, 2 nights of the week I'm streaming something else, and then here on Thursday we stream this show. You know, so it's like I don't have a lot of areas where I can commit to it. Can't always commit on Friday night. So I think my streaming might just be sporadic. That might just be what I have to do, Smitty, just tell people, hey, I'm streaming, come through. I might not have a schedule. Maybe that's what I'll do. But I'm playing so many of these games, man, and I'm enjoying it. Believe it or not, Smitty, and you're going to laugh at this, I ain't played FIFA yet. And it's right here on this PC. Oh God, Andrew Luck, bad pick right there. See, that's what you want. See, this is what you want. This is football. If anybody's watching this, Andrew Luck gets pressured, right? Gets paranoid, tries to fit the ball in as he's being hit, and Patrick Chung jumps right in front of the route and picks it off. We don't really get that type of dynamic gameplay in Madden. And let me explain what I mean by that. In Madden, your guy just he has to just be there, or maybe he'll warp there. But there's no, you don't feel that chaos. Oh, I got to get rid of this ball. I mean, you do, but you don't. Like, let's be honest. You can almost tell when there's not going to be any pressure. You can sometimes tell that from the snap. And you could if you're a quarterback and you know pretty much how much time you got. That has to change, man. There's no fight, no struggle in the trenches. And again, very rare do you see guys like, you hear defensive coaches say plaster, like, get in the face of the receiver in this situation because the ball's coming out quick. There's none of that. I don't feel like the interactions are dynamic at all. Even when you get a pick or even when you get good coverage, again, it's basically just the coding. Okay, this time the dice roll works to where you're going to cover him pretty well. Just stay with him, and when the ball comes, turn and look for it. They still don't have that one-to-one interaction. Because in case you guys didn't know this, all of the DB and wideout interactions we're seeing are canned. They are. There's canned situations in 2K also. So this is not something breaking news. However, 2K has done a great job this year with at least making you believe what happened, or at least giving you more control. And that's where Madden is lacking in some scenarios. The control aspect is still not there, or an animation will fire and trigger, and you can't. It just, I don't know, man. And there's no real intelligence. Like, again, if you want to hear it out someone else's mouth, again, I'm gonna keep promoting Kia's video. He said the same thing that I said in one of the videos I posted when we talked about, okay, even though this guy has no work on his side, I want to see him do something. What is he still drift? Like, where are you going? There ain't nothing over there. Go help inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, in real football, that don't happen. Even if they don't go to where they can help out, they're watching the football. So even if nobody comes over to this side and this guy's playing, curled it flat, or he's playing a hard flat, whatever he's playing, and then nobody comes over there, they're going to look for work. Or, how many times in the real football have you seen a linebacker realize that, oh, ain't nobody out here, I'm going to blitz? You mean, these type of things, there's no what Andrew Wilson told us on that stage, Madden 25. Players will calculate and diagnose. That don't happen. And at least we don't see it happening. I just don't. And again, shout outs to all the people who post the old clips of 2K8 when they show real-time injuries. And I think people, even my boy Neo, he knows who he is, has posted it on Twitter, even in NBA 2K, where guys will get hurt during the play, and you can go back and say, ooh, I see exactly what happened, and it matches. We don't get that. Like, listen, no game, guys, at this moment is completely dynamic. The only thing that is completely dynamic is what me and Smitty doing right here, just talking. He don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what he gonna say. Now this game's that's close now, really, really close. But what I'm saying is, most games that we play, definitely the sports titles, the game has enough AI and animation that works together to produce the realistic outcome. Again, they said that about RPM, that it will, that's a component of it too, allowing more realistic animations to play. I can't really say that I'm seeing that on a consistent basis. So, again, guys, if you think me and Smitty are crazy, go play FIFA. And then come back, holler at us and say, okay, I see what y'all are talking about. That's all we're saying. Play FIFA and just think about that on a field sense in football. And that's what we mean when we say, Madden ain't that far away. It's not that far away. If they could do that, we there. But yeah, Smitty, I haven't even played it yet, man. I cut it on. I downloaded it because I got it on PC. I haven't had a chance to lock into it because, ironically, I actually work on this computer also. So I don't really have time during the day to do it. And then, this computer is down in the basement. I wish now I would have got it on the PS4 because I travel with that. I take that with me upstairs or whatever, but can't really do that with the PC. But I plan on getting on it tomorrow, though. Sometime tomorrow night, because that thing, I already know what it is. 18 was great. So, yeah, that's what we're saying, guys. That's what we're saying. The game has to get to that point. Again, guys, I really don't understand why we have to keep saying the same thing over and over. We all should know what the problem is right now. It is lack of development time to specific areas. Focus. Priority. Those are your buzzwords for what's going on with Madden and why these certain things aren't being done. And that's just it. There's no primary focus on, clearly, the trenches. I mean, let me be quiet, because there's stuff I can say that I don't know if I'm able to say, but just understand, guys, that the painful thing with Smitty and I, and even the pain you hear in SGO's voice, we have witnessed things being cut from the game.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Things that we knew was coming, was in the plans, and then all of a sudden, cut, can't get to it. That's not a dev decision, folks. And that's why we ride for them so hard. It's not their decision. We got to hold them accountable now, for the state of the game. But, we understand. It ain't all on them. We get it. But tough, man. I wish I was a fan of something else. Like, why do I gotta be such a football guy? If I was a hardcore anything else, I'd be happy right now gaming. But my football experience just. Oh, and the last thing, real quick, Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are going to try these other games, shout outs to the good people at Access, shout outs to the people making Maximum Football. I recommend everybody, if you want to support it, great, do that. They need it. Let those guys know what they're doing, great, things they can improve on, great. But can we, because I've already seen this, can we stop? And I know I said everything is people's opinion, but some things are obvious. Can we stop with the I'm playing this instead because it's better? Come on, man. I'd rather you just say, tell me the real truth. Just tell me, I'm going to give this game a shot. I'm sick of Madden. I've gave him enough chances. I ain't spending my money on that. I'm going to play, the lesser product just to support. Cool. Thank you very much. But don't tell, I can show y'all the tweet right now. Don't tell me, man, this game is 10 times better than Madden Night, bruh.
What?
Yes, man. People have sent me messages like that. Madden sucks. That's why I'm come on, man. Come on with that. You just that is beyond trolling. All of us should be able to tell that those games are not even close. Come on, man. You know what I mean? And y'all stop, and stop trying to cause social media beef. Y'all know who y'all are. Y'all cut it out, man. And this is why, and I'm apologizing to everybody right now. I don't respond as fast no more because I want to keep reminding people I don't be on Twitter that much no more. I'm only on Twitter when I'm in front of a computer, and I check it maybe once or twice a day, cause I just can't deal with the toxic nature anymore. I ain't put it back on my phone. I ain't got time for it. I'm always here to listen. You guys know you can reach me, hit me in the DM. It might take me a while, or send me a mention, or send me an email. But I just want to explain to you guys why you're not seeing me as active, because I can't, man. I can't do it. Just can't do it. It's toxic. But 4 minutes left, man. Anything else, Smitty, we need to cover, or any last words?
I'm just bugging. Somebody said that.
Yeah.
Man.
My man told me, he said, oh, it was a little more graphic than that, but he told me I could keep sleeping with EA,
all that stuff.
I'm over here playing this because it's fine. I'm like, dog, I feel you, but come on, give it to me raw, man. Come on, just tell the truth. I don't need all that fluff. I don't just say you sick of Madden. Don't try to pass it over like it's a better game. Stop it.
Oh man, you trying to pass off that Pinto as a Maserati? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, even with Backbreaker, y'all never once heard us say this game is better. We always say, yo, the physics in this joint.
Yeah.
In that player form.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I would say it was better than Madden to a certain point.
Right.
And that was it. When you looked at the game on the field, that's where it excelled at because of those dynamics. And then after that, it was like, oh man, we can't hot route, we can't do this. Franchise mode basically is not a franchise mode for real. Extremely limited playbooks. There's no real true player identity, but those 4 rating criteria accounted for so much. So it's like, yeah, there has to be a brass tacks moment where it's like when you break things down to the brass tacks, you're like, okay, they have these certain elements, but that's gonna be it. And that's literally what the deal is when it comes to Axis and everything. It's not their gameplay that excels, it's the franchise off the field, on screen. If you don't play the game for its gameplay and just the features and facets of franchise, then yes, I would definitely be like, okay, I feel you there, because it does legitimately. It does give Madden a run in that
sure
sense,
did.
without question.
They had the
But
best time in pocket of any football game ever before they patched it.
yeah,
The
yeah.
best. You better get rid of that ball and make your decision.
Oh yeah, yeah. That bat boy. People were getting murked on that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I get it. But I mean, look, like I said, with the frustrations that we give, all this stuff is a process. Like I'm sitting here playing live right now, and it's very frustrating. And I'll be thinking, man, I want to stream it, and I do want to stream it, but I don't want to sit up here and stream games that I'm not thoroughly enjoying.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna front and act like it's all good when it's like, no, this game's got more work to do. And I mean, I got people that went to the studio and played live when it felt better than this before it launched. And they're like, man, I put that game down. I'm playing 2K. And I'm like, now they patch it and tune it right. I'll pick live right back up. But otherwise, no, I'm straight. And I'm like, that's it. That's just where I'm at with the game. Like, it's got some decencies, but I know once I pop in 2K, if I play the same two NBA teams, it's going to be an afterthought. Like, why the heck did I play live over this? You know what I mean? And that's the feeling I get, because at the end of the day, we're game changers and all that stuff and everything else, but at the same time, we still are consumers. We weren't brought in because we were like, we weren't fanboying Madden. Like, a good number of us feel a certain way about the game, and we want the game to be better, but when it feels like it's hindered and held back, we're going to express those feelings. It's not to attack people, but that's just how we feel. So, but on that note, though, I'm going to cap it there. You know what I'm saying? That's my sentiment / outro. But, you know, Sim, like he said, he'll be streaming when he streams. I stream every week. You know, I stream Monday through Friday from 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when I do it. So you'll see me on tomorrow doing it. But, of course, like always, we're here every Thursday night. And we appreciate all of you guys coming through, hanging out with us, having fun, chatting and dialoguing with y'all about these games, man. And always hit that like button, sub to Sim, sub to me. You know, we all appreciate that, of course. And, yeah, that's it, man. You know, that's all I got. Throw it to Sim.
One last question, because I meant to get to this earlier.
Yeah.
Again, we all have our opinions, and I hope none of you guys take anything that we're saying personally or anything like that. It's not an attack, nothing like that. But Smitty, can you tell me what is the infatuation with season mode? I keep hearing people say that, and somebody in here tonight kept saying, "Man, Madden needs a season." What is it? Like, what am I missing?
People just want to play a season instead of. That's for your people that instead of think of it like Play Now, okay, or NBA Today, for example. Except you could play that one season and then you're done. So you got the schedule for the NFL season, and then you just play that one season and you're finished. Some people do like it that way. That's why some games would offer it, where they would have you would have play your season, and that's in 2K right now. Yeah. Play the season, and then you got your franchise. So it's like, if you want the depth, but you really don't want to go that far off into the deep, it's like you go into the deep end if you want to play season. You jump into the Atlantic Ocean if you want to play franchise. That's what the purpose of that would be, without just doing play now matches, pretty much.
So there's no transactions or anything at all.
Well,
because
that's optional. It's optional. I mean, you can have the transactions and everything, but you're only playing one season. You're throwing it back to Super Nintendo days and all that stuff, basically. Yeah, you just got a season and that's it.
My only reason for bringing that up is this is another thing just to explain to everyone. Something like that, unfortunately, is probably extremely low on the priority list.
Oh, yeah.
And my only thing is, sometimes we just got to compromise. Like, couldn't you just start franchise and play one season? and then do it again. I mean, because you can cut stuff off. You can say no trades, no this. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is you're able to create a one season currently. So I don't know. I'm just making sure I understand. Maybe it's something I'm missing. Like, why does that need to be standalone when you could still essentially create that yourself? So I don't know. Or you know what you could still do as well, which, and this is probably what EA would fight back with. Well, in that case, just play, where you couldn't do it consecutively, but you could wait every week and just play live now.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But you ain't in the control of when you can play the next game. That's the only problem.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I was just making sure, man. It's not dissing anybody's opinion. I'm trying to figure out why that's a demand. Like, that to me would be, that's one of those things, man. Just looking at it from a business, that's not a high priority thing. I couldn't see that. I could not see that happening in Madden currently as a priority. Maybe later. But I don't know. And last thing, Luke W, man, it's so many things that you desire, brother. I don't know, man. You're not gonna be happy about the game for a very, very long time because, just looking at some of the things you're asking for. I mean, you might as well just watch TV, man. Because, I mean, because again, I'm not saying I'm not chumping the opinion. I'm just saying literally, like, some of this stuff, like, we're getting into real minute things now. And I'm just trying to get you guys to understand how it appears the thought process is in that building. Because these are answers that me and Smitty have gotten from people like, well, why can't, and we'll think about it like this. And then they break it down. I'm like, oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to, what I'm saying to you, Luke, and anybody else, just to put you on game really quick. Why is MUT high priority? Come on, man. But just to put you on game really quick, feedback like that could get lost in the sauce. That's the only reason I bring it up, because I care about our community, all of you guys who support us, whether we agree or disagree. I care about you guys' thoughts, concerns, feelings. That's what we're here for. So I'm just trying to put you on game. Something like that, ain't nobody gonna pay attention to that, because the first thing they're gonna say is, "Come on, it's way more things we better." Because I'm telling you, me and Smitty have gotten this from things that we thought was valid, and they'll say, "Well, would you rather spend all the time doing that, or would you rather?" We'd be like, "Okay, I digress. I see what you're saying." That's just how it works in that business environment. Unfortunately, we have to deal with it with the game that we like, which is football. That's the only unfortunate part here. So outside of that, man, hope everybody has a great night. Colts fans, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I mean, that's all I can say. It's going to be a bad night. Good luck to everybody's teams, unless you are Atlanta Falcons. Guys might walk away with it. I don't trust my Steelers defense. They're going to have to prove me wrong. But I feel like Matt Ryan and the boys are going to light it up. So, we'll see. But outside of that, man, let me go so I can get myself to work tomorrow and not be too tired. We love all of you guys, man. Thank you guys for coming through. Be safe this weekend for you guys who have an extra day, with the quote-unquote holiday. I'll say that for another conversation, though. But, yeah. Wait. Which one is it, Monday? Which holiday
Monday.
Is it Columbus, or it's one of them, or Veterans?
I don't know.
It's one of them. It's Monday. Can't remember. Well, all right. Anyway, if it's Columbus, then some of y'all will get the joke when I say so-called holiday. Y'all might know the science behind that, so that's why I said that. But anyway, let me get out of here before I get in trouble. See you guys later. Y'all have a great one. And we'll catch you guys next week. And give us some topics to talk about, man. Don't be shy, guys. Give us some topics to talk about. Me and Smitty is running out of stuff, man. Ain't nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. But all right, man. Y'all have a good night, man. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.